This is the 5-Minute Food Entrepreneur Podcast, episode number 11. I'm super pumped today. We have a very exciting guest. I am doing this interview as ever over the power of Instagram Live, and we are joined by Declan Horgan. I'm going to add him on here. So this thing might go quiet for the next 3 seconds. Now, I've just added Declan there, so he should be with us any second now. So, really exciting. Irishman, chef, most well known. There he is. Do you hear me all good, sir?
I do indeed, yeah, no problem.
Spot on. It's thanks a million for joining me.
Yeah, my pleasure. How's it going? Good man for doing this.
Good. We're going to fly straight into Declan because I have loads to ask you and we only have so much time, if that's good with you.
Yeah.
Deadly. Let's start with so I've given you the little intro there. You're obviously an Irishman living over in the States. Can we start, I suppose, back to front? Talk to me a little bit about kind of your upbringing or your kind of Irish roots.
So I'm raised at the foothills of the Dublin Mountains, over beside Marley Park, if anybody knows that, in Rathfarnham. And they were my haunting grounds where I got into all my mischief growing up and whatever. So that's where I'm from. I've spent majority of my summers growing up in the Gaeltacht, speaking Irish, learning Irish, between Galway and Kerry down in Tralee, and a bit of Newbridge, County Kildare. So that's where some of my childhood was spent. And then when we got older, as you know, my mother's mother is one of the main reasons that I started being into food subconsciously. I used to see her creating all these old Irish dishes, boiled bacon ribs, potato farls, grilled lamb hearts, stuff like that. And my mom has 3 other sisters, and each and every one of them were great cooks. My mother had all the best cookbooks for Delia Smith back in the day, and they were like the big dogs in the chefing world. Yeah. And I was never like a picky kid, so I always got to eat really well. And by looking at me, you can tell. So I always got to try different cuisines, different ethnicities from around the world between all my aunts. And one was a vegetarian, so I got to eat vegetarian style foods, got to eat curries and stuff like that. And then the other one, unfortunately, who's not really well right now, she would have all the roasts and the prime rib dinners. And then she'd also hire private chefs to come in, so I got to experience that at a young age. My old man was a avid fisherman, a deep sea angler when I was growing up. So I got to work with a lot of fish and eat a lot of fish. And that's how all my fielding skills increased at a young age. Yeah. Then he went into deer shooting. And when he was into deer shooting, I got to shoot animals, wood pigeon, deer, pheasants, and so on and so forth. But as bringing the deers home, then they have to be butchered to go into the freezer. So, by butchering skills, we ended up having a competition to see who could break down the animal faster. And eventually, after going to college for studying as a chef, I was able to do it dab-handedly. Plus, I had an interest in knives and how to sharpen them properly. So, all that, and going to college was a great way to hone those techniques. But I had a little bit of an advantage because I'd already been doing it before I went into college. That's me. That's in DIT Carl Brewer Street. That's where I went for 2 years full time.
What was the you worked in Dublin for a while, right, as a chef? What was the kind of food scene like back then?
So it was at the beginning of the Celtic Tiger. We had the likes of Conrad Gallagher. And he was the one that I looked up to in Dublin. We also had Michael Martin down at the Clarence Hotel. I worked there as well with him. He was Bono's chef. Then there's your man up on the canal. His name I can't remember. It'll come to me anyhow. But no, my interest was really with Conrad Gallagher. Yeah. And while I was in college, I heard everything about him. Peacock Alley. And then he was the big dog in Dublin City. He had about 3 restaurants at the time. I eventually ended up working for him in Peacock Alley during the heyday. Everybody said it was crazy that I didn't have enough experience or anything, but I stayed with him, and I stayed with him for 2 years, and it was wild, just wild. 36 chefs underneath me. I was only like 23. I was his right hand man, his gopher, if you want to say, and we did everything for him. Kept the restaurant running. Yeah, and there's more to that story, but we won't go into it here.
Right. Fair enough. That's for another day.
Yeah.
Let's get into. We're gonna jump a little bit, but most people would know yourself from Hell's Kitchen season 19, Gordon Ramsay. I watched that season; it was pretty good, I have to say. What was that? What was that whole experience like?
So that's not the only TV show I was on, and that's not the first one. But
Right.
the experience of being on Hell's Kitchen is the maddest thing I've ever done in my life. If you see the article on the newspaper that was about me over there in Ireland in the Sunday Business Post, I sold my soul to the devil, and I liked it. Literally what I did, and I wanted to get my name out there over here in America. I was promised the Sun, Moon, and Stars by some other people, but it never came.
Yeah.
And I always believed growing up as well that if you want to get anything, you have to go out and get it yourself. You can't just rely on anybody. And that's why I've got a lot of respect for you for what you're doing with your videos and
Thank
your
you.
blog and all that, and the podcast. It's awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is Ramsay, because obviously we all know him, the shout and roaring kind of TV side of it. Would you have dealt with him much off camera? Or?
Oh yeah, sure. He's a gentleman and a scholar,
Okay.
right? He would be a person like myself. I don't suffer fools gladly.
Yeah.
But off the screen, it's only just for service. Off the screen, he's just normal.
Yeah.
Anybody was to be annoying you off screen, and eventually you just like, dude, get away from him.
Yeah.
Like I did. Yeah, no, it's just an amazing experience. I'm counting the days till I hopefully get a call to go back on it.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, which would be amazing. I'd love to go back on it. I'd do anything to go back on it. What else? Guys' grocery games. One dressed like a giant leprechaun.
Saw that. Yeah.
And then Super Chef Grudge match. I was on that against my buddy from Hell's Kitchen, Adam, and I was down to the tie there. But yeah, he beat me, unfortunately. But it's all right. Still good buddies. And then 24 and 24 last chef standing. That was just out as well over here. Don't know if it's over there yet. I did have food poisoning from the plane, so that didn't go that well. And you can tell on screen because I'm sweating bricks. It's unreal. But yeah, no, Hell's Kitchen was awesome. It's changed my life. I bleeding love it. I've total respect for that gentleman and the whole team that was on the show. Behind the scenes, some of them are now friends of mine and everything. Yeah, it's just awesome. Best experience ever.
Deadly. And when you, like, obviously you're a chef by trade, and that was your background. A lot of chefs, yourself. It's a tough gig, right? It's a tough job, and a lot of people drop out and stuff like that. Would you have any advice for, say, someone that maybe is a chef and is in that world that loves food and loves cooking, but maybe wants to create a career outside of the kitchen, but still stay within food?
Yeah, another way that you could do it is you could become a development chef for a company, or you become a food stylist for magazines or for a brand. There are other ways to do it, but you could also start your own incubator to create a product like I did during COVID.
Yeah.
You can do that as well. But I would definitely, the words that I've been using lately in my career is diversify. So don't have all your eggs in one basket. Like if you're a chef, but you're handy with a camera, start photographing your food, and then that can build a portfolio of being a food stylist. So you'll tie up two things. You'll create dishes and recipes, and then photograph them, and then you can up that you can present them to magazines. And you never know, the magazines might pick you up and pay you to do recipes and do photos of your food, or do photos of their food. You never know.
Yeah.
But never have all your eggs in one basket. If you are getting into the chefing world, get into a good place, a good strong place that you're going to learn, and stay there. Do the time. Don't chase the money. The money will come to you afterwards. And I know it's hard to say that in society right now because of the recessions that are coming on,
Yeah,
if they are, inflation and the whole lot. But that's what I would do. Enjoy
deadly,
the learning process, and the money will come to you.
deadly. Tell me about, you mentioned there the barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Tell me about that process.
So,
Like, can I just speak? You said you're very straight. My Without knowing a huge amount about it, my guess is that maybe like it's your face or your brand is on it and someone else is producing it. Is that kind of the story, or are you actually hands on with it?
so I was hands-on making it in my kitchen during COVID
Okay.
and bottling it and stickers and everything, and then shipping it out on my own. But then I was getting so busy with it that I was like, right, I got to make sure that this is more locked down, more safe.
Yeah.
So I got a bottling company. And then the day we went up, I made the first recipe with them, and we locked it down that the recipe was correct. Then they bottled it and labeled it and printed everything there and then. We did about a 400-gallon run, so that was like thousands of bottles.
Wow.
And I did that about 3 times. And now, just with the jigs and the reels, I haven't been able to concentrate on it. But I found somebody else who's closer to my house that will be able to do small batches and do pasteurization and everything. So I think I'm going to start doing that again shortly, because it shouldn't be live on my website, www.chefdeclanhorgan.com.
Yeah.
It's turned off at the moment, but I will be bringing it back on. And hopefully I'll be bringing back my T-shirts as well, that I sold loads of them after Hell's Kitchen. Yeah.
Deadly. And do you do the barbecue, not at the moment, but is the plan to do it like in retail? Do you do wholesale, or what's the kind of?
So the plan is I have a whole food range planned out underneath Chef Big D's range, and that includes Irish sausages, Irish rashers,
Deadly.
black and white pudding, all Irish recipes, but produced here
Yeah.
through Connect that I have now. Tartar sauce, batter mix for fish and chips, and probably a vinegar as well. And then I've got the barbecue sauce I have right now is dedicated to type 2 diabetes, because it's only got 15 calories, but it's a mix between Asian and a Memphis style, so it's really good. That flew out the door. So yeah, I will be bringing it back. I'm going to do it in smaller batches, and then once I got the confidence behind it, which I do because the feedback I got was amazing, I am going to start pushing it into small boutique stores first, and then with other connections that I've made, I'm going to try and then grow it to get it into retail. And that should be all. This year, I'm sort of taking a sabbatical, getting some stuff sorted. Still working away though. And then next year, things are going to explode. Touch wood.
Deadly. Exciting.
Yeah.
What, the American dream that everyone goes on about, is that, is there truth to that with your own story, or?
They're 100% true to it, but you have to be able to take the punches. You have to be able to take the failures. You have to keep going. If it is a dream of yours, you just have to put in the work to make it happen. And I've been here since 2015.
Yeah.
I've gotten kicked. I've gotten punched. I've gotten down the lows. I've some stuff I don't want to talk about here. But I've dragged myself back up the whole time. Never gave up, and it's all starting to come to fruition.
Deadly.
Yeah.
I have two final ones, Declan, and it's a real pleasure to chat to you, I have to say. Just on a slight aside, on Hell's Kitchen, you were hilarious, and there was some funny moments in it. But there was a moment that I have to say was pretty nice. It was when Gordon Ramsay got your parents in. He got the three finalist parents in, and you got quite emotional. I think most of the people on it did get quite emotional, but like, I remember watching that thinking like, this guy's gone through some stuff. Like, like you could see the passion that was in you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have a question around that, but it was a pretty nice moment, no?
It was. It was a case of I hadn't seen them in ages. Of the age that I left Ireland to start a new life, it was a bit wild. I was what, 32, 36, 2015. Yeah, no, it was a bit wild. I left at a very late age to come over here,
Yeah.
and from my parents saying, "Jesus Christ, he's leaving his house, he's leaving his job, he's doing everything, he's moving," um, and then as well as that, they were obviously supportive of me, but they weren't really experienced in what the real life of being a chef was. And then when I was on the show, it was like, holy Jesus, look what he's done, and all that. Plus, like now, I'm 100% Irish for life, but I just became an American citizen before Christmas. Even that, like, I had to go through 8 years of turmoil to become an American citizen,
Yeah.
and that I never gave up on as well. So yeah, it's all wrapped up. Like I told them, I'm chasing my dream. I'm doing this. I'm doing that, and that's what I did. So that's why they were so emotional to see me. I'd never gave up in my whole career. I've never stopped. I've always got back up to do whatever I wanted to do. I've always chased my dream, even if other people said I was mad or I wasn't able to or I wasn't good enough. I never listen to anybody. I just do what I have to do. And if I put my target on something that I want to get, I get it.
Deadly. No, it's an incredible story, very inspiring. Let me finish up on this last one, Declan. I suppose I want to ask you kind of about your future plans over the next 12 months and stuff, but please tell me if there's any, if there is any kind of exciting stuff going on, but a restaurant, you don't have a restaurant, or is that a future plan or a goal of yours, or?
100%. I have two concepts. One concept would be a fish and chips concept that I almost got over the line 3 months ago. We were going to do it in a kiosk in the new Amazon HQ area.
Deadly.
That's still in play, but not for that area anymore. So I'm waiting to find out. And then I have something else big, but we're not going to talk about that yet.
That's cool. Would you ever come back to Ireland, do anything in Ireland, or?
Well, so I've bought a house here, met a lovely lady, and probably going to get married to her. The weather here is bleeding amazing compared to back.
Yeah.
Ireland has got a big special place in my heart. It's always going to. Maybe later in life, if I decide to retire. When I decide to retire, as from what I'm looking at, you need to be a millionaire to be able to retire in Ireland.
Yeah.
So maybe down the road later on, yeah, 100%. Back and forth, through the jigs and the reels of COVID and everything, that put me on my arse. So building back up from that, yeah, no, going back and forth. I was back there last August, met all my friends, which was wild. But I can't see myself going back for good.
Right.
Because of the way things have panned out over here, I've been more successful over here.
Yeah.
But I'll never not be like Irish, like 100%. Oh my God, are you going to lose your accent? I don't think so, but not a chance.
Why is it that a lot of people, like, you've been over there for years, probably close to 10 years? Why is it a lot of people they go to the UK for 3 months and they come across sound like they've been there all their lives? What's that about?
I don't know, because I think what they're worried about is I don't notice it, but when I'm around Americans, all Americans are like, "Oh my God, your accent." And I'm like, what about it? You're mad, joke. What's wrong with it? But I think the people that change their accents are the ones that are like insecure or conscientious of how they sound.
Yeah.
Like they must in their head think, "Oh my God, I must sound like a muck shoveler or something like that." But don't. You just sound Irish. You know what I mean?
Deadly. Declan, it was a pleasure to chat to you.
Evan, thank you ever so much.
Thanks.
Great talking to you.
Talk to you.
Man.
Cheers. See you, man.
Talk to you later.